Hey guys. So, I'm recording another one. I suppose I could do some more of that, gaming, but, frankly, there's no point right now because, honestly, I cannot hold the phone and record. I mean, I can do it if I just kind of focus it at the screen on and off. But nobody wants to see me hold it down and up and down like that. But that was just a brief little deal anyway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put like a little box stand or whatever as soon as I get this camera and hold it. Have it like kind of record while I'm doing that. Just record the game while I'm on the camera. What do you want? Gee, thanks for the butt in the face. Hey, get out of the way. Anyway, so where are you going? Crazy girl. So it would be nice if I had some kind of better lighting in there. Well, I think I'm gonna record like 6 or 7 videos a day, and that's it. Instead of like about 4 or 5, and then just try to upload as I go along or whatever. Because that's what I was doing, which was really tiring in itself, and it also made it hard on me. But you know, I just wanted to get them out as soon as I could. That's why I was doing it in such a hurry. It wasn't like I didn't enjoy it or anything. I really didn't enjoy waiting to record or anything like that. But I enjoyed recording and playing the game. And, well, I did start to record something out of the ordinary. A game that not even I understand how to play it anymore. So, basically, yeah. From what I understand in the game, that we don't talk about is Final Fantasy 3. And from what I know is you can go ahead and go for the boss, but you want to take out as much as you can. But overall, if you want to go ahead and get everything leveled up and everything, because I think it works into the favor for Terra, if I remember, I think that's her name. Anyway, if you level up everybody, and I don't understand the 3 separate teams because eventually, from what I've heard, anyway, I didn't really look it up or anything special, but yeah, you you know, you want to take out all the enemies and then go out to the boss. It's kind of a recommended thing if you want to do it that way. Because there's like there's like 3 ways you can end that. But you have to be very careful about how you strategically place these 3 different battles because there is, because what's her name gets knocked out. I'm not going to spoil any names. And then you have to go and take out, ow. Anyway, you have to take out the, boss himself. And frankly, it doesn't really matter who you choose, as long as but what does matter, I mean, to take down the bosses, anyway, But as far as taking on the boss, you want to make sure that your team is fully prepared. And I'll show you what I'm talking about as soon as I get around to playing again. Because any team you choose, it doesn't matter which, as long as they've leveled up the most and had more experience than one or the other, don't matter. Because you can literally do without that scumbag, excuse my French, not my French, but excuse me, but, you know, I'm calling him scumbag because I don't like the guy, certain reasons. Anyway, plus I don't like the other one in the other game. I don't like the other scumbag. But that's neither here nor there. What was I saying now? Oh, right. There is, a remake. They do remakes, but, you know, you'd think they would put voices instead of just, like, you know, remaking them. And, like Final Fantasy IV, they made a remake. They made a remake of, what you call it, 3, and, they actually made advanced versions. Well, the advanced version is just a little bit more tougher than anything else, and they actually made another kind of remake to it, except that the only difference is it's just kind of it's just modded to look like some of the characters from Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy 3. You might want to look up Lance for that one, because it's, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. Well, they kind of spoil it there, but anyway. And then there's, oh yeah, of course. I still got this game going up. I forgot about it. Not that I was really playing anything of it to begin with. So, but yeah, there's just all kinds of ways they've done things. There's even fan-made games that are somewhat, and a little bit more awesomer than the original game that was put out. Except for when they go so screwy that it just doesn't make any sense. That to me was not called for. And, yeah, I kind of tried to do Suikoden 3 on a recording while it was on the laptop. Didn't go too well. It's simply because the laptop could not handle it too good. Well, it can handle it, the game was running. It just wasn't able to get enough resources, I guess. I don't know. What the heck is he? E-I-I-O, A-B-C-D-E-F-G. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's get rid of that. And let's minimize that. And we'll run ISO. There are lots of games I could be playing, but I'm not in the habit of playing anything that I haven't already played. I refuse to do Suikoden in the fact of actually, you know, getting all the 108 Stars of Destiny, because that was a pain. I mean, literally, you need to get some sleep before you even continue on, because there are other recruits, if I can even speak, recruits, or Stars of Destiny, that you're gonna need some sleep. If you can't concentrate without sleep, like I did. After I got some sleep, but they're going all that crap. Because I mean, it took me a while to get back to it too, because I took a break from it. And now I'm like on the second one. I've beaten both of them. I would say it's getting to the point to where I've actually beaten the first one more times than I have without the 108 Stars of Destiny. It's getting up to the point, which I'm not even sure I've lost count, but I have beaten it without all 108 Stars of Destiny, which you can do. But it's kind of like getting a bad ending. But you beat the game. It's like there's no game over or anything special. Suikoden 2, I'm still kind of working on it. It's not a good forwarding promise. But yeah, I'm still kind of practicing at it. So yeah, that may be my next Let's Play, I don't know. I'm not even sure if I really want to continue on any games because of the, I mean, I can, if y'all want to watch them on a different deal, if I can still get on Facebook. See, right now, even if I had a recording device, which the best thing I've ever gotten so far is XSplit, and using that one program I used to use, which, you know, or I edited together, and really, I mean, it was so good, but I needed to edit out some things, like I needed to shave off, shoot stuff, but I probably could have just added into another part, like another episode or something. I don't know. But hey, you know, whatever. See, unfortunately, I do have a game called Mortal Kombat, but in order to even play it, I cannot click on Mortal Kombat Q. I actually have to go and click on one of the tracks, which is stupid. See that? Right there. It won't even let you play it without clicking on one of the tracks. It's lame. But I mean, I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure if I'm much of a fan of the later games, but in the general sense, yes, it's like Final Fantasy. I'm not a fan of the later games, but I am a fan of the in general. It's like Suikoden. You know, I'm a fan of it. I'm not a fan of 4, but I played it. It was okay. Kind of sucked though. See, the truth is I can bring up any game I want to, but because I'm holding the camera, nobody's going to want to watch this. Which I've seen plenty of people do that, and they got plenty of people that would watch, which I don't understand any of that. Oh, and if I may suggest, see, these are horror games right here, this clock tower stuff. Yeah, you don't want to get into it. Never play it, my personal opinion. I mean, I'm not saying don't play it you want to, but I'm saying my personal advice, because if you like to do surviving and stuff, believe me, because I have actually struggled trying to get through Clock Tower. Crack you not. I actually tried to play this game. I actually started out with Clock Tower 2. And, yeah, I got to the point where I could not make it. And I was like, crack. So then I went to number 1, which I don't normally do that. I like to start off with that. Heck, I just skipped out on Final Fantasy numbers. Anyway, if the same game even comes out. See, the thing about Duke Nukem Time to Kill is that it cannot be ran for the sound, which is going to just suck. And you can't make a proper Let's Play without the intro to the game. I don't know why, but for some odd reason, I mean, I'm the only one that can even watch it. And that's kind of pathetic. Even though that I mean, it's not pathetic that if I watch it whenever I want to, just because. But, it's pathetic in the fact that if you're trying to actually put it for, like, everyone else, yeah, it's just not going to go too well. Because, I mean, unless, of course, you just turn off the sound and let everyone just see the intro, yeah, no big deal. But no one wants to just see it, they want to hear it too. And, I like to play as Russia, so, and I like to have about 12 units. A lot of these maps I have a problem with playing on because usually it doesn't load, or because, well, I just wind up sucking and not being able to do too well. My favorite map is in the hundreds, I believe. It's kind of like that map right there. Yeah. If I haven't mentioned that. Because, to be honest with you, I have played on almost every one of them, and the thing about this map is that you cannot have a base on an island. You just have to be connected, which really blows. See, even though they start you out like that, it's just good to have a place like this right here. It's a good place to start out. I've done that one. Units 0. I don't think I've ever played on all of them, but I know I wouldn't stand a chance. This is the one I'm talking about, 105. Y'all can see that. Because it's a good map. And so far, I find this one the best and useful. Now don't get me started on this, on the, oh well, that's all they have, I don't remember that. Because personally, you can take your base. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and set up your base, and then as best you can, but I wouldn't do too much because you'll just get killed off easily, unless you have a backup plan. And to be honest with you, and this is my best advice for playing this game, you can play it any way you want to. Now, if you're able to survive, which is not always a guarantee, even in skirmish mode, because it's generally put there to be hide, and it's going to be not exactly easy for you. Believe me. If you manage to pull off where you survive without ever having to go to the next island, then you're good. But that's not always a guaranteed deal. But it is guaranteed as long as you are able to do it. As far as, you know, I think I'll be able to take them down, blah, 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 blah. What I usually like to do is make up a backup plan. I put up my base, and I make the, how I start out is because the only way to do it is the construction vehicle, and that's the biggest unit you have, which is not even, and don't get, you know, you have to be able to protect it, and that's what they prepare you for. They don't exactly explain that. Because if you don't protect it, you can't build more vehicles and be able to protect yourself more better. Even though this is a war game, it's not really trying to teach you how to do war. It's teaching you how to survive. And to be honest with you, I've never really thought about it that way, but yeah. If you want to think about it, yeah. It is teaching you how to survive. And I'll be completely honest. Well, not that I wasn't already, but yeah. Anyway, one of the best ones I've found so far is Russia. However, the problem with Russia, I'm not talking about the country itself or anything, but in this game, you do not, I repeat, you do not want to wait until you can get a Tesla coil or do more. If you're lucky and manage to pull it off, you'll be okay, so you can survive a little bit longer. I'm always going to recommend this to you, but you don't have to take this path at all. But yeah, you want to definitely, you know, just build up what you can. I wouldn't worry about too much going up at the time, because the main objective when you first start is to kind of survive. It's not to really build up any troops or anything. You can kind of build, but I wouldn't do that, because you want to be able to survive. You want to build just a little bit of troops, well, if any at all, but not too many, because you can still easily get wiped out, and that is not a good thing. Even if you don't actually take over the base, which I find is the best thing to do in this game, one of the best things, and you know. And there's supposed to be unlockables in this game, and I'm guessing it's only through the campaign mode, which unfortunately I still have the worst luck with. I've gotten through it, and I'm going to tell you, I hate going through it, because once you go through it, you don't want to do it again, if you're lucky to pull it off, because there are a couple of missions where you cannot have a base, or it's not allowed, and you got to actually survive to go through there. You can't just go and take the base down. I learned that the hard way. And they only have somewhat of a base. They don't have a complete base in both scenarios. There's one in I think it's Alaska, whatever. And the first one, which is the very first one you actually have to start out with before you go on to the next place. And it isn't easy. It's easy if you know what you're doing. And if you do it right. Because what you want to do, because see, in this mission that I'm talking about, the very first one is where you have to take your spy in. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your guards or your troops are in position. And I don't know if I can record that, but if I do, I mean, not that I don't know if I can, I mean, I just don't know if I would be able to do it and have where it's entertaining commentary for you, because, to be honest with you, I'll be having to concentrate, and you always have to concentrate on those missions. Now, being that said, there's only, when you have to, I mean, you're not that you don't have to concentrate at all during any mission, but this one, these two, you have to particularly really pay attention to them. Because if you're careless, it'll be game over, and you can't get to the next place. And even though that you can go to the next area, it is better if you get all the missions done. Even if there's no actual money reward, because, you know, the reward is getting past it. Now, however, there is Soviet missions where you're going up against the Allied forces. Those I can't quite explain, but I think those are a little bit more easier. That's like the easier side than it is doing the Allied versus the Russia, because, you know, probably because Russia was more of a greater, stronger thing. Like it's like hard mode with Russia. Allied easier than pie, mostly. Russia kind of more harder than an Allied. And if I may recommend, when you do an emulation, you don't want to leave it alone and long, because when you do, you can have a lot of problems. Because well, actually, it's because of the computer. That's the real reason. That's what I was trying to think of. What the real reason was. So, anyway, with this game here, I mean, it's not a whole lot to it. Yeah, you have to have a bunch of strategy and stuff, even for skirmish mode. And skirmish mode, it can be hard. It's generally made to be hard anyway. It's not generally supposed to be easy. It only becomes easier once you're able to survive. There's only two ways to survive in skirmish mode, believe it or not. And the best way I find is choosing this map. That's what I say. Well, that map and the other one I showed you that has separate islands. Anyway, what you want to do is there's only two ways to do it. Is if you successfully manage to, even if you've gotten to the point where you actually are able to go to that point, because what you want to do is you want to make sure you actually have another base to start up with, and don't land it. Do not land it. You want to land on another island in case your starting base gets just utterly massacred, destroyed. You know. And you want to have a not a submarine, but a transport ready. And you want to make sure that your money truck survives, because that's the most important things are your money trucks and your construction vehicles. Because if they don't survive, then, you know, it's less well. I mean, you know, I would recommend trying to get everybody evacuated as much as you can. I would only worry about the base. See, I take care of the whole entire base. I evacuate the base as best I can. Sometimes I'm not exactly completely successful. Sometimes I'm not even able to get the entire base evacuated. Period. And then there's times that I'm lucky enough to survive, and I'm not even trying to survive being in this one general location. And then there's times I do try to survive right there, and I just get my ass rolled handed to me. Excuse me for my language there. But, you know, or if I'm lucky, if I'm really, really super lucky, you know, just depending on the luck and if it's in your favor, but you never know. Anyway, is the fact of if you're able to survive when you're trying to actually survive in this one general location that you actually start out with. case you want to go ahead and get the submarine base going on, or the sub pin, or the ally bin, whichever side you're towing it on, it doesn't matter. As long as you actually have that in case things happen. And you definitely want to do that anyway. Even if you do somehow, the better chance of succeeding at this is to actually have a way to do if I can talk, two bases, as you need them, in case one gets utterly destroyed. Because most likely, yeah, your base will get utterly wiped. As I mean, usually they wind up taking out at least one or two buildings before they're taken down. And they take out a bunch of your troops, and that's just, I mean, once they get to the point where you cannot build, you are SOL. Sort of out of luck. I'm not going to say that ugly, dirty word, but yeah. And there's, I mean, I can sit here and talk while I'm doing it. It's other missions I cannot do while I'm trying to. I mean, I can talk just a little bit as long as I have leeway with breathing room. I don't really need to breathe, but you get the idea. I just need to basically have enough chance to talk. Because, you know, I mainly try to play this as much as I can whenever I feel like I'm in the mood to play. And it's not that hard to actually win this, as long as I have a winning strategy in mind. And there's only two winning strategies, like I said. You have to actually be able to be prepared to go over there. Anyway, what was I talking about? I'm sorry. Let me start over from where I was at. When I said that, I mean just make sure you actually have a boat and everything, and another place. What do they call it? It's not a construction yard until it gets built. It's a, oh well, if I could get over it. Mobile construction vehicle. Yes, that's what it's called. And it will be called a construction yard. And because you got to land where it'll let you actually build. Yeah, and unfortunately, I had to build a power plant, which does take a bit of time, but you want to keep this on normal and not fast, because, I mean, depending on your operating capacity of your computer. Now, I'm not showing up the thing because it's not going to be easy for me to do that. Now, what I can do is I can build a naval yard. Or that. What you want to do is actually build a oil refinery first. Always build the oil refinery. Once you get settled over there on the other island, you want to go ahead and build up another one. You don't necessarily need the small electric power thing, unless, of course, that one gets wiped out. Once that one gets wiped out, yeah, you kind of have to. Depending on the computer itself and the game, when it hooks up to the computer itself, it is a pain. See that I built my small thing. It's required, even if you move to a different spot. If you're, it's not required as long as you have this one built up from. This is the first base that I'm starting out with right there. As long as you have that up, you won't have to worry. But as soon as it gets wiped out, that's it. Yeah, it's going to take you some time, but it's real worth it because... Get out of the way, buddy. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the naval yard. I'm not going to bother to build up to see... What I got to do is I got to build a... I think it's a deal. And then I got to build that one deal. Yeah. What I would not do is what I wouldn't do is build the barracks yet, because you don't know if you're going to survive or not. I would not do that at all. And you want to go ahead and get at least a transport ray, as believe me, it's going to be worth it. Believe me, once you have this stuff ready, you're set. Do not build the barracks yet. I recommend this because you are in real danger. Well, when it comes to this game, not you in personal, but that you're whoever you're playing as. Right now, I'm worried about my my money truck has to survive, and once I get the right kind of deals built up, I can worry about said whatever. And it depends on where you're at. If you're far up in a location where you cannot build on water, which they don't provide that on everything, but yeah. And it's odd that once you build, they don't build. I mean, I sit there and alright, now we gotta build a silver depot. And I wouldn't worry about evacuating anybody just yet, or doing anything heavily, because, what you want to worry about is, more than anything, surviving. Till another day on it. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and build it. Low power. Good. Now I can build my. Oh. And we're out of ore, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All I'm doing is just basically talking to you guys for a little bit. Not really trying to do a real let's play or anything special. And what I want to do right now is I'm focusing on trying to protect my base. I'm going to take my troops and put them in here. So I'm not too worried about my other tanks, but I mean I am, because for survival reasons. But if they don't make it, they don't make it. There really isn't anything I can do. The two things you really want to worry about is getting your, like I said, getting your money truck. I just can't remember what they're called, but I'll look it up here in a minute. And your mobile construction vehicle. Those have to survive. You have to build the mobile construction vehicle. And do not try to build another one of those money trucks or another one right away, because you will be, without a doubt, as long as you have your first main base in skirmish mode, or actually in anywhere, you're screwed. Until you can actually make this, I would not worry about any of it. Right now, we're in the middle of getting ready to be attacked, so right now, I have to worry about. You want to make sure you have enough money to go over there with too, because, yeah, it's gonna be a problem if you don't. Because you gotta build another ore refinery as soon as you get over there, and they cost about so much more than what the Ally does. And even so, you still gotta have enough money. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my dude and have him go over here. And because, I have to. I've already taken the guy out of there, because I want to evacuate what I can. I can't evacuate all my troops or anything else. You know, you need to be able to be ready to evacuate everything. See, as soon as you get this done, my recommendation would be to go ahead and to just sell everything and, you know, take everything off the deal. That's just my deal. I mean, you don't have to if you survive it long enough, but it all depends. However, in the other map that I showed you, you don't have to worry about going to another island, because actually if you do that though, the problem with that would be, how do I put this, that the enemy is over there, and you don't want to go over there. It would be nice if all three teams were over there, or on their own separate islands, so they're not fighting each other and killing each other off right away, but there's nothing you can really do about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to evacuate everyone to this little island here. See that? That's my island. Well, you know, it's one of the things that you're supposed to do to get ready to move over here anyway. And I'm guessing my bases that are attacked too are going to be. I'm going to go ahead and build up my ore refinery since my other plant was not knocked out yet. I wish that thing would hurry up. I'm trying to evacuate everything I can over here because I'm going to be, you know, alright, let's do this. Alright, everybody in. See that? I'm doing good so far. I'm not going to worry about building anything else until I'm actually sure that I can. Alright, let's do this. And what you want to do is take your money truck and have it go to other islands, because there is islands that have ore on them, and have it go and gather up ore, because so what I'm trying to do is I'm in the middle of that. I can't do much more until I get more money. So that's that. Right now I need to build more, but I'm not going to build it in the general area. So let's see. Usually I can get by with like 2 transport ships, or 1, depending on how fast I am at reacting, because I want to get everything out of there. I may not be able to get all of everything, but, you know. Wow. They both cost the same. That's a shame. So this game is not actually in HD, which I cannot do anything about, but, you know, I'm going to have to take my units here and just, like, put them in there.
Oh man. I knew it. Yeah. We're not gonna survive this. Well, they don't know it, but we survived. Haha, living the day. Unfortunately, though, I lost a lot of troops. Well, that's the thing about surviving in this game. So, and we took out all the ore, which is good. Unfortunately, though, I had to sell a bunch of stuff, which is sad. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build I didn't even know the guy was attacking it. Not so much for that idea. Anyway, I was in the middle of doing something here. So, yeah, I'm going to stop this.